JetBlue 396, roger.
Frontier 1238, reduce speed to 190.
190, Frontier 1238.
Air 5904, connect tower 132.22.
3222, Brickyard 5904.
Good morning, Boston. JetBlue 590, 5000.
JetBlue 590, Boston approach, roger. Carry 2, descend to maintain 4000.
Descend to maintain 4000, carry 2. Boston approach. Setting 190.
395, Boston approach, roger. Intercept runway 22 left, localizer.
Intercept localizer, 395.
Frontier 1238, reduce speed to 170.
170, Frontier 1238.
JetBlue 396, connect tower 132.22. Have a good day.
3222, good day, JetBlue 396.
JetBlue 1486, reduce speed to 170.
Slowly 170, JetBlue 1486.
Carry 2, turn right heading 270.
270, carry 2.
American 1902, reduce speed to 190.
190, American 1902.
Frontier 1238, traffic that follows 11 o'clock, 3 miles southwestbound, 2,800 descending in Airbus 320, turn left heading 290.
290, JetBlue and airport sign, Frontier 1238.
1486, turn right heading 190, intercept runway 22 left, localizer.
Hey, 190, intercept the 22 left, localizer, JetBlue 1486.
Frontier 1238, turn left heading 270, follow the Airbus, third visual approach, runway 22 left, speed 170.
270, follow the Airbus, cleared, visual 22 left, Frontier 1238.
JetBlue 1486, 6 miles from Wayne, gain 3,000 or above until established localizer, cleared ILS, runway 22 left approach, speed 170.
3,000 or above, cleared ALS, 22 left, 170 or better, JetBlue 1486.
Air 82, traffic to follow 12 o'clock, it's 5 miles southbound, dogleg to final, 4,000, Embraer 190.
Traffic inside, Air 82.
Air 82, follow the Embraer, maintain VFR at above 3,500 for now.
At above 3,500 for now, we'll follow traffic, Air 82.
American 1902, traffic 1 o'clock, 5 miles westbound, 4,000 descending to Cessna 402.
We'll be looking at 1902.
Frontier 1238, connect tower 132.22, have a good day.
3222, Frontier 1238.
Boston, Victor, 368, 5,000 to 40 on the speed of 9.
The 368, Boston approach, roger. JetBlue 590, reduce speed to 190.
Slow to 190, JetBlue 590.
Victor 368, reduce speed to 210.
210 now on the speed, Victor 368.
5, caution wait to airborne 2 mid-trail at Airbus 321.
Copy again, up.
American 1902, descend to maintain 4,000.
4,000, American 1902.
Air 82, cross the 10 DME inbound at or above 2,500, proceed inbound runway 22 left, further descent after 10 DMEs at your discretion.
Okay, 10 DME at 2,500 and proceed inbound for 22 left, carry 2.
1486, maintain 170 knots, as long as practical, connect tower 132.22.
To as long as practical, over to tower, JetBlue 1486.
2162, 5,000, 210 knots.
American 2162, Boston, roger. American 1902, turn left heading 300,
American 1902.
turn right heading 240, vector for space.
240, 1095.
JetBlue 590, descend to maintain 4,000.
Descend to 4,000, JetBlue 590.
1802, continue left turn heading 250, intercept runway 22 left, localizer.
250, General Lake 22 left, American 1902.
2 maintain 170 knots, 25 mile final.
170 to 5 out, carry 2. First Delta 59 Heavy, 10,000 for 6,000, descending on the Ocean 5.
Delta 59er Heavy, Boston, thank you. American 1902, descend to maintain 3,000.
3,000, American 1902.
Air 95, turn left heading 180, intercept localizer.
180, intercept, 95.
Air 29 level
American 214029, Boston approach, weather. 1902, 5 miles from Wayne, cross Wayne at 3000, cleared ILS, runway 22 left approach, maintain 170 knots.
Wayne at or above 3 and clear for the ILS 22 left, 170 for American, 1902.
95, traffic to follow, 12 o'clock, 5 miles southwest bound, 3500, descending Airbus 321.
Traffic in sight, 1095.
95, follow the Airbus, cross 10 DME, at or above 3000, clear visual approach, runway 22 left, caution wake turbulence.
Cross 10 DME 3000, clear visual 22 left, follow the traffic, 1005.
JetBlue 590, turn left heading 310, reduce speed to 170.
Left turn 310, slow to 170, JetBlue 590.
Take that to 368, descend and maintain 4000.
And maintain 4,000, clear to 368.
American 2162, reduce speed to 190.
190, American 2162.
American 2129, reduce speed to 190.
190, American 2129.
Delta 59 Heavy, flighting 310, descend and maintain 6000, vector to final.
Delta 59 Heavy, 310, the heading, say again the altitude.
Delta 59 Heavy, descend and maintain 6000.
Okay, down to 6,000, heading 310, Delta 59 Heavy.
3060 feet speed up, connect tower on 132.22, good day.
Speed up at 3222, say 32.
JetBlue 590, if not there already, reduce speed to 170.
We're there now, JetBlue 590.
Maintain your best forward speed.
Best forward speed, 1095.
Two left localizer.
250 heading to join the 22 left localizer, JetBlue 590.
American 1902, connect tower 132.22, have a good day.
3222, see you at 1902.
JetBlue 590 is 3 miles from Noli, cross Noli at 4000, cleared ILS, runway 22 left approach, maintain 170 knots to Vocus.
170 to Vocus, cleared ILS 22 left, JetBlue 590.
Take that to 368, turn left heading 310, reduce speed to 170.
Heading 310, slow to 170, vector at 368.
All right. All right, so today we are going to fly from Boston, and we're going to do, I'm going to attempt it's my second attempt to do an oceanic flight. I didn't actually make it the first time because I didn't have all the scenery installed that I needed installed. So now we got Boston, and I got Canada, and I got England. I've got everything installed. So let's open up the airplane. So the airplane is loading, and I'm gonna. All right, so let's go to our flight planning software. Let's take a look at this. So this is basically it right here, Boston to London, and then you have what are called NAT tracks. So we can go to nav, and these are the east tracks, which utilizes the jet stream. So as you can see, you know, these tracks are best suited for altitude and wind direction. So this is a tailwind here. So once we get past the 30 line or whatever that's called, you see the low pressure system here. So we'll have a tailwind here. We'll have a crosswind here, but then we'll pick up some pretty good speed when we get to this place. All right, so that is that. So come to SimBrief. Let me go to Route Finder, and I want to find a route. I analyze the route, and we're using yeah, not uniform. So we'll use this one, that NAT track. So we can do flight level 380, and this NAT track is good till 0800 Zulu on the 25th. Today's the 25th, I think. Is today 25th Zulu? It's not even the 25th yet. So these NAT tracks are valid for our entire flight, no worries. So we'll copy that and we'll paste it there, and that shows you the coordinates. So we'll do that number. Going full load, full cargo. I file 38,000 feet, and let's see what that does. I need to figure out how much fuel I need and zero fuel weight. It should be about a 6-hour flight. Of course, I won't be streaming the entire 6 hours, but I'm going to have a part 2, so I'll start the stream again when I'm approaching England. All right, so 6 hours and 1 minute. So that looks fine. That's our route. So we need 88,000. So I'm just going to round that up to 90,000. So that'd be 88, 89. So we'll say 2,000 extra. Do 1900 extra. That way I can try to get an even 90,000. I think that will do it. Yep, so there's 90,800. And zero fuel weight is 302.9 with a payload of 104.9. So the trusty calculator is you take 302.9, which is 302,900 pounds, minus the weight of the plane, which is 198,000. That gives us 104,900 divided by 9,800, which are pallets. So we're going to do 10 pallets. And 10 times 9,800 is 98,000. So then we do 104,900 minus 98,000. That gives me 6,900. All right, so the cargo is 104.9. Suggested runways. This is what Boston is taking off. Departing runway 22 right. So we'll plan on that. Currently, there's no ATC online, but we'll still log on for the departure and talk to anyone that might be at the airport. I'm not going to worry about that. I'll leave that up. So one thing I want to do is download the flight plan, and we're going to file it. NatU, yeah. All right, so we'll file that. Boston to London, 6 hours IFR file. So I'm good there. And I need to K Boston and all right. So let's hop in here. So I figured out that I need 10 pallets. Cargo is just had it 69. We'll optimize CG, and I want 90,000 pounds of fuel. Click this optimize CG thing a few times. Check it. 302.9 for 0 fuel weight. I forgot. Let me double check. 302.9. Yeah, that's right. All right, so we're at 90,000 pounds. So we'll do load. And I have to write down my departure time. I should remember to do that when we depart so I can keep up with the times according to the flight plan. How about maintenance? How many flights do I have on this? 3? Alright, I don't need maintenance. Can turn on the battery. External power is available, so we'll turn on those bus ties. Bring up these lights and turn on the nav logos, nav lights, panel lights. And time 15:49, is that? Yeah, so that's right. That's actually Zulu time, current Zulu time. So that's verified. Bring out the engine display, intercom, do
Attention all flight attendants.
doors to auto. FMC position reference airport is KBOS, B-O-S. So reference is just reference. This is to make sure that this GPS is relatively close to what the airport reference is. So this is a known GPS location for basically the center of the airport property. So it doesn't have to match this, but if as long as it's close, then you know it's a valid GPS position. So we can copy that, paste it there, and that will set the IRS position, which we started the aligning process there. So for fire purposes, those two are up. Each engine has 2 bottles. The APU fire has only 1 bottle. Park and brake is set. And I filed the flight plan. And so altimeter is 3027. I know we're we're about sea level, so that's an accurate representation. All right, so let me log on to Vatsim just to see if there's any controllers. Call sign is FedEx 3171, and we are in a B763. I'm not going to worry about a cell cow because I'm not going to be connected to Vatsim during the oceanic part. FedEx 3171 B763 will connect. And see if we got 90. Cool. So I got 90,000 pounds of fuel. So I can start the FedEx A cars since I fly cargo for FedEx Virtual. So we'll get that A cars started in the background. And then the easy part really is going to be just doing a company route, because I'm not going to enter in that entire route by hand. That's why I downloaded it from SimBrief. Alright, so speaking of, let me copy this flight plan and put it into FedEx A-Cars. Cargo weight is 104,900, and we filed 38,000. Alright, so let me dial in Unicom so we can listen to anyone that might be here at the airport. We'll do 121.5 for your guard on COM 2. And one thing with Flight Factor's Boeings, you got to make sure that both of these mics are popped up. Otherwise, you won't hear squat. So if I can tune 122.8 on COM 2, then I can test to make sure the comms are working. I really hear myself. Yeah. All right. So comms are working. So I'll come down here and we'll do route. Company route. Route loaded. FedEx 3171. Put that there. We'll activate. Execute. We're going to depart. Let me check the winds. 22 right. And we're doing the, I think it's the Lobster, a Lobster 6. No transition. And we're going to grab, let me see, so London's, looks like star is BNN1D. BNN1D. There's no trans. Let me look that up. So airport EGLL. I've never flown to London Heathrow, so I have no idea what this is. So that's an arrival, and it was BNN1D. That's Oh, that's weird. I'm so used to flying in the US, I don't see stars like this. So BNN 1D. And what's the last? Looks like Kennett is the last waypoint. Oh, here's Kennett. And then Donna. So we'll check that. So what does that say to do? I'll look into that more. I'll understand this more when I get closer. I'm just going to make sure that all these waypoints show up accurately. I'm not sure if there's a runway. Probably not. So I'm going to leave the runway blank for right now. Actually, what's the winds at England? Let me see what the winds are doing right now. I mean, although that could change 6-7 hours from now, but all right. So the winds, I'll be landing west probably. So we'll say, I don't know, we'll plan, which one's longer? 27 right. So we'll do 27 right. And I don't know. Let me see what that ILS looks like. Actually, I could do that here. 27 right. Approach. 27 right. BNN. So maybe from BNN, would that be BNN inbound to BNN? So BNN, I guess. I don't know. Execute that. We'll come to legs. Don't know what that means. I'm going to look at plan mode. We'll step through this. So go to plan. Alright, so the Lobster 6 leaves at Lobster. Then we're going to join the, we go to Ebony. And that's Ebony. And then we're going to join the, whatever this thing is, N39A to Tupid. And then from Tupid, I think that's going to be our NatTrack entrance at Gisty or something. Yeah. Alright, well that looks fine, I think. It's Kent D25 D12. I don't even know what these things mean. Anyway, I see the VOR. That's all I care about. Long flight. Yeah, bud. I'm not going to be sitting here to do the whole thing, but this is my version across the pond because I can't sit at the computer for that long. And Saturday, Vatsim's having the main event. So I'm doing my version today. That way I can have ATC hopefully when I get there, because I'm going to sign on when I get to my top of descent. So once I take off, I'm going to walk away from the computer, go out to lunch or something, and then I'll stream the I'll do like a second part when I'm arriving, 6 hours from now. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here for the entire thing. I'm just streaming the planning, getting everything set up because I've never done it before, and it's kind of fun to figure out how this is going to all play out. All right, so let me get rid of that, and we'll do back to that. All right, so there's no more discos. Let's do a init fuel reserves. Good question. So we got, looking at SimBrief, reserves is 4.6. Zero fuel weight. Another good question, cost index. It's calling for 180. And we're gonna cruise at 38,000. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, let's try 21,000. Do I want 20? I guess I'll leave it. It's not enough fuel. There should be plenty of fuel. Why does it say it won't cruise? Let's try 240. Well, it liked 240. So climb trans, that's right. I'm not doing a speed restriction. Step 2, maybe I can change that later to 38. Let's see if that will, yeah. All right. So in it, cruise 24. So let's do flaps 5, trim to 5.4. Oh yeah, I need to turn this junk on. And London is, what is the altitude? It's 83. Uh, 5.4. Now I have hydraulics, so we'll do 5.4. And then I'm going to toga because I'm super heavy. I'm not going to worry about a D-rated. What's next? So let's do route and 22 right for departure. And then the winds are, hey frame then, what does cost index mean? So cost index is your burning, like it's, if you want to go super fast, then it would be a higher cost index. If you want to conserve fuel, slower speeds, lower cost index. So if you're trying to make up time, for instance, like if an airline is behind schedule, they're going to go with a higher cost index so they can fly faster and use up more fuel. I got the cost index from SimBrief because it's based off of gate to gate time. So it's like relatively fast for this, but it's not like full speed ahead either. But it's good enough. All right, so 230 at 9 knots and 17 Celsius. And then we're going to do speeds. You can get rid of our ground units at this point. So stairs, LSU, field truck, get rid of the loaders, close up all the doors. Autopilot, we'll get that set up. Flight director, bust out here at about 210. And the SID allows me 5,000. So we'll start at 5,000. About 2,000 feet per minute. And 22 runway heading. All right, MCP is set. Not gonna worry about decision. Put on engine display. Turn on all the fuel pumps, including the center, because we have fuel in the center. And let me make sure there's no ATC to get a clearance from. No ATC online, so we're going to go ahead and start her up. So we're going to do beacon on. And I'm going to push back onto Kilo, I think this is. Yes, it's Kilo. All right, let's get her started. Go to ground. Wait for the oil pressure to show, and then we'll add, we'll introduce fuel. oil pressure. Check for hot start. I'm gonna have to write time of departure. Say engine start. 11:12. And takeoff time, what's that, 16:12. Alright, so we got one good engine, so I'll come up here, we'll start engine 1. Wait for the oil pressure to show. There it is. Adding fuel. And if we had any passengers, we have to give them their safety briefing.
As the flight attendants demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft. When the seatbelt sign illuminates, you must fasten your seatbelt. Insert the metal fittings
My
one into the
morning
belt
coffee.
and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep
It's
your
pretty much
seatbelt
empty though.
fastened throughout the flight, as
All right.
you may experience turbulence.
So again, hopefully, when I arrive into the England area, I'm hoping I'll have some ATC for the arrival, because that will make it fun. But if I don't, I don't. It's not that big of a deal. Alright, so we have left and right gens are off, so let's make sure they are working. So both the lights are off. Disconnect external power, and we'll remove the high pressure chocks, GPU, turn off the isolation valves, which is used to start the engine.
To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you. Place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
I am ready, let's go. Starting our push.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
So we're going to do flaps 5.
The uniformed crew member advises you to remove it. In the event of an emergency, please assume the bracing position. Lean forward with your hands on top of your head and your elbows against your thighs. Ensure your feet are flat on the floor. A life vest is located in a pouch under
Let's
your
make
seat.
sure the air brakes are working, which they are.
Pouch and remove the vest. Slip it over your.
Dude, you're in the way. This is a big plane.
Blow into the mouthpieces. Use the
Alright,
excellent light to
brakes
attract
RTO,
attention.
arm the
Okay, all
spoilers.
doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Pull the cushion from the seat. Slip your arms
Do
into
systems, everything is fine. We'll turn on that.
the following electronic devices: calculators, CD players, laptop
Turn on
computers
terrain radar.
may be used when the seatbelt sign is off or when permitted by the crew. Mobile telephones, remote controlled toys, or any electronic devices operating with an antenna must be turned off at all times.
Turn on all the cargo heats.
Remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke
TCAS
detectors
and
located is prohibited.
2200.
You will find this and all the other safety information.
So
in the
connected
located
and
in the
bypass
seat
pin
pocket in
inserted.
front of you.
Release parking brake.
We strongly suggest you read it before. Our crew members, we wish you all an enjoyable flight. Thank you.
Starting pushback.
Leave that on engine display. Altimeter is 3027. altimeter set and good. Winds 250 at 12. So let's do 250 at 12 and 18. Keep saying insufficient fuel. I hope I don't run out of gas. That'd be funny. Alright, so let's bust that up to 210 again. He's going to tell me to set the brake here in a moment. Maybe. Someday.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
So for fuel wise, it's showing that I'll have, let me see, by the time I get to my top at descent, I'll be close to 18,000 pounds of fuel. So that's fine. So I should arrive with 17,000 pounds of extra fuel. Famous last words, so we'll see.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
Alright, so I'm going to want to take Bravo to November. So we'll turn on our taxi lights. Brake off. And let's motor on out of here. We are starting our trip. Boston traffic, FedEx 3171, be taxiing to runway 22 right, Boston traffic from the FedEx ramp. I have to keep the the throttle going because this thing's so heavy. What's it say for VR? 162 knots. Yeah, right there. So I want Bravo, which is its next taxiway. someone over there loading up a flight. Has anybody got the new, I forgot what it's called. I'm looking it up. So, oh, the Just Flight Traffic Global. I watched a YouTube video this morning before I started this mess, and someone had posted a video of their first impressions. And I appreciate the follow there, sir. And the first impression was it was really good if you have a beefy computer. He said to expect between 7 to 10 frame loss, but you know that could vary depending on your hardware and stuff like that. I mean, I have a pretty beefy computer. I've got a 9700 processor and a 1080 GTX 1080 or whatever it's called. I think I need to go left here. Yes. So anyway, so he said you can expect a frame loss. So I'm showing like 35 frames with this airplane. So if I had lost 10, I'd still be like 25 frames, which X-plane, you know, anything over 20 frames is okay. You don't want to do anything less than 20. And he might have had the settings on max, like you don't have to have all 9 or 300,000 real-world flights going on, apparently, from what he said. So you can probably get better performance if you don't have so many real-world flights loading in. Because all it is all the airplane CSLs. Like, he was taking off from Atlanta, so there was just a ton of aircraft. And when he turned onto the runway to take off, it was at the end of the runway, naturally. So all the airplanes all the CSLs were there at all the terminals in his view. So I saw his frames went down to like 10, or not 10, but he went down to like 20 frames because he had so many AI sitting there. But it looks really fun. Like if I had that installed right now for this flight, that would be like the ultimate, you know, to have all that real world traffic lined up for departure. But of course, when you fly on Vatsim, if it's a busy night, then you have plenty of traffic anyway. So, and Amzolt, if I said that right, how you doing there? Looks like a nice day in Boston to take a flight. How long is this runway? 7,000 feet. Yeah, I'm gonna toga this bad boy. So we'll do alright, so let's go to takeoff. Strobes, landing lights on.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff.
So I'm going to be looking this departure, what is it, Lobster 6? So 22, I'm going to be doing a left crosswind departure, so Boston traffic, FedEx 3171, be taking off 22 right for a left crosswind departure, Boston traffic.
Hey, Boston traffic, JetBlue 2180, turning final 22 left at the Wayne intersection.
FedEx 3171 copies, thank you. Alright, so I'm taking off 22 right. He's coming in 22 left. So he's up there somewhere, but and I'll hey Melon. I'll look at the chat here in just a moment. Let me get off the ground. Insufficient fuel. See, I don't think that's accurate. I've got 88,000.
Lost traffic, JetBlue 2180, 10 mile final, 28 left.
Alright, 50%. Engines are stable. Toga. Winds are 250 at 12. So a little bit of a right crosswind, not bad. Hope I have a long enough runway to get off the ground. I'm so heavy. This might be a short flight after all, huh? Alright, that's 150. I need 162. 162. We're going. We're going. We're going. And we're off. Gear up. And autopilot on. Speed on. This is a sharp turn right here. Leaving in the flaps till I get more straight. I don't need to call Boston again. Oh well. I loaded what SimBrief said to load, so we'll see. Gears up, flaps are up. You can unarm the spoilers at this point. Alright, let me catch up on chat here real quick. And Amsalt says, doing okay. Glad to hear it, bud. And Melon says, I followed you here. Oh, cool. You followed me? Yeah, he's a stalker, dude. Seriously. No, I'm kidding. He's not a stalker. But you were in Mambas, and then I find you here when I left Mambas. What was Mamba flying? Is he flying a heavy metal too, or? He will be missed. Alright, so we're gonna go up to 21,000. Start our climb. Noel on the way. Yep, we are on our way to England. Gotta do a flyby. We're gonna turn. It's kind of funny that we're leaving New England to go to England. If I run out of gas, I run out of gas, but I don't know why I would. SimBrief says I have enough gas. Guess we'll find out. Might have to do an emergency landing somewhere, huh? Let me see what I missed here again. Loads under the wrong units. Oops.
Boston traffic, JetBlue 2180, crossing 22 right for Charlie 36.
MD-80, Mad Dog. I don't have the MD-80, but I don't think they make the MD-80 for X-Plane, or if they do, it's very old. The last time I tried this flight, I didn't have Canada loaded, so it told me that I didn't have Canada loaded, so it paused the sim while it was trying to ask me in an error warning if I wanted to install the scenery. But what happened was I had left for lunch and I left the sim running. When I come back, I was actually like 2 hours behind schedule. How much fuel is... Yeah, it's showing enough. Should be enough fuel. 10,000, we can turn off the landing lights. Turn off the taxi lights. Oh, rotate has the MD-80. I thought there's an MD-88 and then there's an MD-80. One is referred to as the Mad Dog, I think. So we're gonna have to go to fly at 21,000 for a while and burn off some of this fuel. We're not gonna be able to get any higher when we're this heavy with fuel and stuff. Cabin pressure. That's fine. Life is calling you away. We'll see you later. Have a safe flight. Thanks, bud. Appreciate you dropping by and the follow. And we'll see you next time. I'm going to post both of these videos. I'm doing part 1 and part 2 on my YouTube channel. So you'll be able to see the arrival into England. My YouTube is Chase1399 Aviation. So by tomorrow, both of these streams will be posted, because once I get to a cruise, I'm gonna cut the stream and I got some errands to do, and hopefully everything will work out. Hopefully I won't run out of gas like this thing is telling me I will, but we'll see. SimBrief can't be that wrong. Alright, So let's see what kind of ETA. Do flight tracker on Project Fly. So I'm showing 9.5 hours. Oh, that's right. I wanted to write down the time I left. So we'll say 16:30. So basically 11:30 a.m. my time. 16:30 Zulu. Let me see how far behind on. That'd be 26 minutes. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, our aircraft continues to climb. We would like to remind you that all flights of our airline are non-smoking. For your safety, the lavatories have been equipped with smoke detectors. Damaging or disconnecting the smoke detectors is strictly prohibited. On the overhead panel you will find a personal lamp, air conditioning.
See, now it's not, I don't keep getting these not enough fuel error things coming up.
Economy class passengers in the back and center of the airplane. For your safety, when seated, we recommend to keep your seat belts fastened, even when the fasten seatbelt sign is off.
Yeah, the jet stream is definitely not our friend today. I forgot to set the altimeter. All right, so let's go to 21, 20. Let's go to 23, and I'll reset the altimeter. And appreciate the follow. Wish I had a PC like you. Well, I certainly did not start off with this PC. It was years of, and plus I learned how to build my own PC, so you know that saves a lot of money too. Like I used to buy from iBuyPower my PCs, and you know you pay for the labor, but PCs are like simple nowadays, and with YouTube videos, you pretty much learn how to do anything on YouTube. So I just learned about, you know, how to install a processor into the motherboard, which is a lot simpler than one would think. And the hardest part was getting all the little leads from the front of the computer, you know, like your USBs and your lights and everything. There's little tiny pins on the motherboard that you have to plug them into. I mean, tiny little pins. And that was the most tedious, hard part for me, but otherwise it's relatively easy to build a computer. So this computer, I don't remember. I know I saved a lot of money by doing it myself, but let's see what climb. So do I want, which way am I going? So that'd be odd, right? Going east, so it'd be odd. 23,000. Optimal range should be 300. Yeah. So we'll fly at 300. I think I filed 38,000. So we'll go up to 300. Just keep stepping up the game. You built your PC, just it's a very budget. I get 5 FPS and EG. Oh my god. Yeah, you can't do X-Plane with 5 FPS, but you probably know that. You need at least 20. I would recommend getting a processor, single core speed. You want nothing less than an 8700 Intel. You don't want AMD. AMD is horrible with flight sims. You want Intel 8700. I have the 9700. The only difference between the 87 and 97 is that the 9700 has 8 cores, so I can multitask. I can do the sim and other stuff. But they both have very fast single core processor speed. So I would want to play X-Plane with nothing less than an 8700 and a GTX 1080. And your frames would be just like mine, unless you're doing a lot of other multitasking. But since I stream and I have 2 monitors and all that stuff, I needed the extra processor. I mean the extra core. Yeah, 8 core. Alright, so 16. Flight sims are so poorly optimized. Yeah, DCS is actually really good. I fly DCS, the F-18 Hornet. That's a good one. That's pretty optimized. You might want to. You can download DCS for free, and they have like a P-51 Mustang. They have a jet that's free. So you can download DCS for free. You can fly for free just to make sure that it runs on your computer. And then if it does, then more than likely you're safe to go ahead and purchase other add-ons like the Hornet or Persian Gulf map and stuff like that. Let's do seatbelts to auto. That's fine. Big Wing says, usually I crash when I start to taxi in a flight sim. That's because you have 5 FPS. And it's a shame because you're missing out on a lot of good stuff like the Orbix ortho scenery for Washington and Oregon and all that. If you can step up, I would, in time when money permits. I have a GTX 1080, but any of the RTX 1080s, 2080s, whatever, they work too. But 1080 is what I have, and I wouldn't go any lower than a 1080. You want to buy the Ryzen 7 2700. Is that AMD? Because I have heard and read in so many forums that AMD is just not the best choice for flight sims. I would consider a different one. All right, so let's go up to 25,000. Man, you climb like the Dickens on this thing. Most of my followers know that I fly the Airbus A320. Most of the time I fly on Pilot Edge and Vatsim events. Yes, you are using DCS and it's amazing even with a potato PC. Nice. Yeah, kinda AMD, but I heard it's good for streaming. Yeah, because it's multi-core, you know, it's multi-thread. Really, dude, I mean, ask like 10 people and go with I would go with, you know, the majority, but just ask people Intel or AMD when it comes to flight simming. And I bet the majority of the people you come across will say Intel. It's like they're coming out with X-Plane developer. They're working on a new way. It's instead of OpenGL, it's like a different type of whatever you call it. I can't remember the name of it, but they're coming out with a way to make it better for the AMD processors because right now AMD struggles. Optimized for the sim, but not the stream. Yeah. Yeah, the sim will give you. Yeah, streaming, like, as long as you have a computer that can handle, you know, at least 30 FPS, then you'll be able to stream as well. So that's what, again, you know, that's why I got the 9700 because it's got 8 cores and I can stream and I can do web browsing and I can have 8 cars running. I can have all sorts of stuff going. So it's really worth the money. I think the 9700 was $500 and I bought, you know, the motherboard. I mean, just you can build the same thing I have. So, you know, like I used my old power supply. It's a 300 watt, 800, 700, 900. I don't remember what it is. I used my old power supply. So some things with the computer that you have currently, you can probably utilize on on another computer. I used my graphics card and my power supply, and then I bought everything else new, the motherboard, the processor, and all-in-one water pump. I bought a brand new one of those. Yeah, see, the thing you really need to think about, Birdwings, is you're thinking cores, and cores does not equal speed when it comes to simulators. Simulators work off of a single core speed. So if you really want a good performance, don't worry about how many cores a processor has. Look at benchmark for how fast a single core is. And that's why I got the 9700, because it was number 3 on the benchmark. The third fastest processor on the market when I bought it. It might not be now. But that single core processor is what's given me that 38 frames per second right now. So multi-cores does nothing unless you want to do 12 different programs at once. But if you're looking for good performance in a sim, it's single core speed that you need. So you really want Intel, and you want an 8700 or a 9700 or 8700 or better for sims, and you can stream the dickens out of that, no problem. I'm not having any frame rate. My CPU is literally 2.2% on my OBS software right now. 2.2% with a 9700K 8-core processor. And Melon, looks like you're on board with me. Think about what you want to play. Many games from the era before multi-cores were super relevant were designed with assumption that processor speeds would keep rising, but they didn't. Correct. Processors swapped to multi-cores, so many games were never made for that. Yes, very good examples for those games. Like, my wife got me Call of Duty, so that might be more multi-core, I don't know, but most games are single core. So if you're into like video editing and doing multiple different programs all at once, that's where multi-core. A lot of people confuse cores for speed, and it's not. Looks like I'm out of gas on the center, so I'll turn those off. Looks like I can jump up to 27,000. Just inching myself up to my cruise altitude because of how heavy I need to burn fuel. Burning fuel loses weight. When you lose weight, you can climb higher. So I'm gradually getting to my, whatever this thing says is my best fuel, which I think is going to be 30,000 feet, so I'm getting there. The higher you go, the less fuel you burn. I said exactly what you were typing. It's a bad thing about streaming is you guys are limited to typing and where I can talk. So, yeah, you're talking about AMD's. You also got to remember that, I can't say this word right, architecture. So AMD has a different architecture than Intel. And because of the building blocks, they're not optimized for simulators. So just like Melon said, Google the game that you want to play the most. Some games do better with AMD architecture than they do Intel. So for example, Call of Duty, that might be way better performance on an AMD multi-core processor than a very fast single-core Intel. It might just be better, and only research will tell you that. But I know for a fact, without a doubt, that single-core Intel architecture processors are the best, 8700 or better, for X-Plane. I can tell you that without any doubt. So, you know, that's what you really need to look at, is Google the game you want to play, find the processor that best fits your gaming, and go with that one. Because not one fits all. It really doesn't. look at my Navigraph, see where I'm at on the map. Looks like I'm just leaving Maine. It's just coming into Canada. I'm going to enter into the, not the NAT track, but the entryway to the Oceanic. So optimal cruise would be 300. So we'll get up to, we'll go to 310 because we're going east and we have to fly odds. I'm at 80. I have enough power to do it now, I think. Lost 10,000 pounds of fuel, so yeah, let's bring it up to 31. And we'll do 31. Climb again. Birdwing says he has the Radeon RX 580 as graphics card. Well, that's another one of your huge problems. You don't have enough video RAM to load in the scenery for X-Plane. You're hitting walls. Yeah, you're gonna want. Let me see. You got it off of eBay, so that's why I want to kind of buy the Ryzen 2700. I feel like that would work okay, but I don't know. You got to find out where the what's it called when the bottleneck. Like my CPU is 328, and then GPU is 185. So whichever one is working harder is the bottleneck. So if your CPU is barely working, that's because your GPU is not strong enough, and vice versa. So ultimately, you want your CPU and GPU to be working basically even. So you find out where the bottleneck is, and there you can do X-Plane bottleneck search in YouTube, and you can find a whole bunch of instruction on how to determine where your system bottleneck is, because it can get pretty in depth. See, I'm adding fuel as I climb. That's kind of cool. All right, so I just passed Ebony, and that should be 30 minutes after departure. I left at 16:30, and we're at 17, so we are right on schedule. I don't know, I'd buy Intel, but the person who is building my PC is saying I should get Ryzen as it's cheaper and better than Intel. That's not right, dude. He's wrong. He is wrong. He either is just an AMD fan, like I swore by AMD. This computer I'm running is the first Intel I have ever had. I have had AMD for all my Call of Duties and DCS. When I X-Plane, I figured out that uh, my performance was because the CPU was struggling. I had an AMD 1158, or I can't remember now, but it was about 2 years old, and it was pretty fast for its day. It came in iBuyPower computer that I had bought back in that day, and it's he's wrong. I don't know. There's no other nice way to say it. If you want X-Plane, you want Intel. If you want other games, then he may be right, but it's not one-off. It's not processor fits all. It's just not how it works with games. And so you might not, you need to update your GPU out also, but I would, an 8700 is an older processor now, okay? An 8700, here, let me look it up. Let me do i7-8700. See how much this thing costs for an 8700. Newegg, $383. I paid $500 for my 9700, and the 8700 is just as fast as what I have. So for $383, you can have a super fast single core processor that will blow away any AMD out there, except for maybe the newest. I don't know. But how much is he quoting you for that AMD? Because for $383, you can get a kick-ass Intel. $200? Can you afford the extra $180? Because if you want frames like what I'm getting, with custom scenery and ortho scenery and add-on airplanes, and I got 3 weather programs running in the background right now. 3. And a custom aircraft. And I have tons and tons of scenery loading. And I'm getting 30 frames. For an extra 100 and... I wouldn't settle then. Like, I would save. You know what I mean? Don't settle for something that's not going to give you the performance that you're looking for, because you're just going to be like, well, I just threw away all the money and I'm still not getting the performance. So I would just wait, use what you have, play some other game, whatever, and save up, or go to eBay and look for a used 8700. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that real quick. Let's see if we can find you a used. Okay. All right, eBay. Let's just go to eBay first. And then i7-8700. And of course, the socket and everything has to match the motherboard and all that stuff. So whether motherboard that he was looking to use for the AMD will not work on an Intel. All right, so I need to do... Where's used? I want used. All right, here's open. Here's used. Actually, let me get rid of the, yeah. Okay, here's one. Only one left. an 8700 for $190. Let me see if I can. So tell me if this link works for you. So that link, eBay, Intel Core i7, 8700. Now it's a T. I'm not it's a LGA 1151, so that's the right socket. So I'm not saying get this one. That was just what I think that's the right one. But anyway, that's $190 for an 8700. So if he's going to do 200, or if you can do 200, then you can get a used 8700 for less than what you were going to spend. There is a bid, and it's about, oh, so that was an auction, not a buy now. Okay. Anyway, I guess the point is, don't settle. That would be my my best advice. Wait until you can afford the upgrade to the performance level that you're expecting, and then you'll be fine. You'll never regret spending too much. You will always regret not spending enough. Yeah, exactly. Because you spend $200, $400, $500 on a budget rig. You know, look at Linus Tech Tips. You know, he'll tell you all day that you don't want to settle, and you'll spend that money and you can't get the money back. And more than likely, the stuff that you bought is not. You're not able to. You know, to upgrade. Like maybe the socket is an old socket, or the motherboard won't allow you to upgrade to an Intel. Like you buy AMD, you can't. You have to buy a whole new motherboard for Intel. So you might as well just do your homework, research. And I'm telling you, I built my computer myself, and it was like $1,000. And I've got top of the line everything in there, liquid cooled everything. It was just right about $1,000. Let's see if I'm showing up on. Yep, I see me on there. Okay. So I can probably go up to 33. Higher you go, the better fuel economy you'll get. So I'm going to stay at 33. I'll be done with my step climbs. Yeah, and I agree with Melon, but just save up. All flight simmers have gone through similar problems. So welcome to the club. Yeah, buddy. I mean, that case in point, that's why I have a brand new computer, because I was running a computer that it had better specs than what you're currently running. And it would be more like your budget build that I had before, and I was lucky to get 20 frames. I was lucky. And of course that's with custom airports and custom airplanes and all that, I was lucky to get 20. And now I'm getting, 30, 35 frames just by building my own. And don't sell yourself short. Computers are literally plug and play. You can build your own. I was so skeptical. I was scared to build my own, but I did it. It wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. The hardest part, like I said, was those little leads that connect all of your, I don't even know what you call it, those little leads that plug in for the idiot lights and the power button and all that. I got like a ton of notes wrote down on how I did it, but so we are flying over Canada now. Melon spent $2,000 on a new PC. My old PC just wouldn't handle it. I went from 19 to 175 frames with the same settings, same scenery. Nice, dude. Did you build your own, Melon? Or did you have a company build it? Because 2,000, it could go either way. You could easily spend 2,000 on your own build, depending on what you want to put in it. And is your 175 frames with X-Plane? Because I've never seen 175 frames with X-Plane. I guess it's possible with like the stock Baron or something. Looks like we're fixing to leave, or we're fixing to head over the ocean. Oh no, we're going over New Brunswick, Halifax, Charlestown. So we have a little water to go over called the Gulf of St. Lawrence, and then a little bit longer we should be coming up to ocean. $18.35, so we'll be at the ocean, and it's $18.35, so an hour and 15 minutes will take us to get to an estimated fuel. Let me see if that's it's like 59.1 at 59.1. So we're a little bit short, but that's fine. Like I said, hopefully we won't run out of gas. We'll see. So we're cruising at 330, which I've got set. I'll be at our top of descent at 2207. So 22, so 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 5 hours we'll be descending. So that's pretty much right on track. 6-hour flight. I'm going to have to do some research about the arrival and figure out the names of the controllers. Oh, you just max everything out. Oh, okay. So that FPS was with lower settings probably to get the crazy 175, yeah. But 45 to 60 FPS with max settings is pretty good. Do you do any texture compression? Birdwing has one problem. It's going to take years to get the amount of money because I'm not in a family that would probably have that kind of money. Well, you're your own person, bud. You make your own destiny. You make your own money. You make your own ambitions. You put your mind to it and you can do anything. There's so many doors that can be opened. All you need is the keys. Once you have the key, money is no longer a problem. Might not happen overnight, but if you're young enough and you sound like you're young, money will not be an issue if you plan. Everything I have, I earned myself. My house, my car, my computers, my toys. You know, I'm almost 50, but I'm pretty good with numbers. So it's, you know, it's just going to take time and it will happen. All right, so I have, let me see, 11:30, 16:30. So I am going to disconnect from Vatsim. Just because I don't want anyone yelling at me because I'm going to step away. And let's see what this thing says now. So now the ETA on Project Fly shows 4 hours and 18 minutes. We'll see. I'll be checking on this back and forth. I'm probably going to wrap up this part 1 because I'm at my my final cruise altitude. I'm going to hold it here at 33,000 all the way across the Atlantic. And then about once an hour I'll come back to the computer and I'll check the progress with the flight plan, because the main thing I'm going to look at is these things: estimated fuel on board, and this is ETA, the time from the start. So, you know, I started, so this is 2 hours and 4 minutes later. So our top of descent, I should have around 18,000 pounds of fuel, and I should be there 5.5 hours. So, you know, I'll be checking out these coordinates every hour to make sure I'm on track, to make sure the fuel is all good, and I will start another stream at my top of descent, or just before the top of descent. I'll reconnect to Vatsim, and we'll see if I can get, I don't know, like a London center, maybe an approach, and hopefully we can. It'd be kind of fun to hear someone with an English accent or something. I'm hoping that they'll have an accent different than what I'm used to flying in the U.S. So about 5.5 hours from now, you guys are about 5 hours, I'll be starting to stream up again, and we'll see what happens. If there's no ATC, then I'm not going to worry about it. But I appreciate the chat. Good luck with your new build there, Birdwings. I wish you the best, and just do some research. There's a lot of bargains to be found. You just have to be patient, do some digging, do the research, and find yourself a nice rig. and you'll get there. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off and let this plane do its thing. And matter of fact, I'm going to turn on the anti-ice because that would be horrible to come back and see that I've crashed because of ice forming, but I don't think there's any icing, not in the forecast. Check for icing. All right, guys. Oh, and again, I'll be posting both this part 1 stream and part 2 stream, be 2 parts, and it will be on my YouTube channel, Chase 1399 Aviation. So you'll have the takeoff and the arrival by tomorrow on my YouTube channel. I'll catch you later, Melon. Thanks, guys. Y'all take care. Chase out.